Good morning. I'm Rick Sandler, a member of this congregation and also a member of the worship committee. During our summer months, we are responsible for putting together a service while our three ministers take a well-deserved break. While we get ready to open our sanctuary on August 15th, we will continue to hold virtual services. I welcome all of our Unitarian Universalist Church of Sarasota and Lakewood Ranch Unitarian Universalists members and any visitors who are joining us today. Shortly, I will introduce our guest minister, but first we will have a short prelude played by Don Brin. Thank you, Don. Beautiful as always. For those of you who are visiting us virtually, you can find a link on our homepage of our website under the banner which is marked Welcome Visitors. We invite you to register on our virtual guest book. We will then be able to send you our church newsletter, which is called Contact. And you are welcome to join any of our virtual events. If you sign the guest book, we will provide Zoom links for any of these events coming up. And if you would like to make a donation to the church, you will see a donation basket which is visible when you open the homepage of our website. Now, I'm very pleased to welcome Rabbi Jennifer Singer to our church this morning. Rabbi Singer is the leader of Congregation Kol HaNeshama, which is based here in Sarasota. Rabbi Singer gave a memorable and inspiring speech in 2018 to 3,000 people at the community's vigil after the Tree of Life synagogue shootings in Pittsburgh. Rabbi Singer was ordained as both a rabbi and spiritual director by Aleph. Aleph is the Alliance for Jewish Renewal. She was ordained in January of 2017 and has also earned a master's degree in Jewish education from the Jewish Theological Seminary in 2006. Her most recent Volunteer activities include serving as president of the Sarasota Manatee Rabbinical Association. And she's also on the board of the Sarasota Ministerial Association and on the Jewish Federation's Community Relations Council. We are very, very delighted to have her with us and look forward to her sermon. But before that, a brief announcement. The Church Arts Council is pleased to present an online exhibition entitled Creating Art by our new artist of the month, Sue Kennedy. Sue says, "Creating art has always been a way to go to a place where all my attention is focused, where I am at peace. To see this virtual show, you can click on the link in our newsletter, the contact, or you can go to the top of our homepage where it says Our Church, and then click on the link for the Arts Council." Now, I am very delighted to introduce an extremely talented young lady named Mia Laity, who is our guest musician for today, who will be performing two selections from J.S. Bach. The first one is the Partita for solo violin in number 1 in B minor. Again, J.S. Bach. Welcome and thank you, Mia, for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mia. Beautiful. Every time we have a church service, we light our chalice and we repeat some words from the UU 7 principles. I have asked Rabbi Singer to light our chalice while we say one of the UU principles, which you will find and be able to see on our screen. If you happen to have a chalice at home or would like to light a chalice, please do so now while we say these words together. As we light this chalice, the symbol of Unitarian Universalism, we affirm our second principle: justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. Our opening hymn for this morning is hymn number 128, For All That Is Our Life, which again you will be able to follow on our screen. For all that is our life.
For all that
our centering in words, I have chosen a brief prayer by Rabbi David Polish. Rabbi Polish was the leader of the Central Conference of American Rabbis, which is the rabbinical arm of Reform Judaism in the United States. These are his words. Where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover anything from it? The joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the tasks accomplished? Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. Help me to withdraw for a while from the flight of time. Contain the retreat of the hours and days from the grasp of frantic life. Let me learn to pause, if only for this day. Let me find peace on this day. Let me enter into a quiet world this day. And speaking of a quiet world, each week we observe a few moments of silence to reflect in tranquility. Please take this time to yourself. We will then follow this with our hymn, Spirit of Life.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in the hand, giving life and shape of justice. Roots hold me close, winds set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
For today's reading, I have selected the words of Rabbi Peter H. Schweitzer, who is a recognized leader of humanistic Judaism. He serves as the president of the Association of Humanistic Rabbis and is a member of the editorial board of the journal Humanistic Judaism. And these are his words. Our contemporary lives teach us that life is often unfair, and it takes human courage, rather than divine blessings, to endure pain. If comfort is to be found, it comes from within ourselves, from self-reliance, or from the support of family and friends. It also comes from members of a community who support one another, share each other's joys, and accept the diversity of cultural background. For our second musical selection, Mia has chosen another J.S. Bach partita. This is partita for solo violin number 1 in B minor, saraband double. Thank you, Mia. We look forward to hearing this. Thank you. How wonderful that we recorded this so I can go back and we can all go back and listen to these many, many more times. Thank you, Mia, for being with us so graciously, and we really enjoyed that. Our sermon today is by, as I said, Rabbi Singer. I am delighted to introduce her. We are so delighted to have her here. This is a difficult topic, but she has a wonderful sermon called Remembering Tragedy and Living with Hope. I introduce Rabbi Singer. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. Of all the emotions that we feel, the one that we humans are most averse to is sorrow. We love being happy. We love being in love. We're okay with being calm or just merely satisfied. We choose to be frightened by scary movies. We're even open to anger. But sorrow, we avoid it like the plague. And the plague that we are living through now has created an awful lot of sorrow. We've been isolated from one another, making it hard to find consolation. No hugging, no crying on a friend's shoulder. Instead, loved ones have died alone, in the hospital with only a masked stranger for company. We held too many funerals on Zoom, each of us sitting in our own home alone, weeping. It has been incredibly painful. It seems counterintuitive to choose to observe a holiday that asks us to spend more than 24 hours in sorrow, deep sorrow, especially in the middle of summer, the time of vacations and travel, family gatherings and outdoor sports, and especially in the middle of this summer. But that's exactly what today, the Jewish holiday of Tisha B'Av, wants us to do, even this year, while we are still dealing with the pandemic. The holiday's name translates to the date. It's the 9th day of the month of Av. It marks the saddest and most traumatic episodes in Jewish history, beginning with the destruction of the first temple in Jerusalem on 586 BCE, and the destruction of the second temple in the year 70 of the Common Era. But that wasn't all. Over the next few thousand years, terrible things continued to happen to the Jewish community in midsummer. Most recently, the invasion of the Warsaw Ghetto by the Nazis on this date. Tisha B'Av is a day of intense communal mourning. Jews are expected to fast from sunset to sunset. No food or drink. No showers or perfume or lotions or jewelry. No makeup, no leather shoes or belts. No soft chairs or pillows. Nothing that creates comfort or joy. In essence, it is a day to submerge ourselves in sorrow. The question arises, what are we mourning for? The loss of the two ancient temples in Jerusalem? Judaism has come a long way from 2 millennia ago, when it was a religion that focused primarily on a priestly class who performed sacrifices and stood as intermediaries between God and humans. I'm happier with things the way they are now. Are we mourning the expulsions from 11 different countries over the centuries, including in 1492 from Spain on this date? But Spain, England, France, and all the rest of them long ago decided to let Jews back in. The Warsaw Ghetto? In the midst of an orgy of mass killings and destruction, during which 6 million Jews were murdered, there's no reason to concentrate all our sorrow on that day's events. Commemorating Kristallnacht in November is more appropriate, as is Yom HaShoah in the spring. Perhaps we set aside a day to experience sorrow because there is value in allowing ourselves to feel pain. There is a saying among the Jewish sages that one must experience descent for the sake of ascent. That is, sometimes we have to hit rock bottom in order to rise up again. But even that is not enough, because each ascent requires yet another descent, up and down. 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. If the spiritual journey were a staircase, we would never get to the top. This dialectical understanding of spirituality emphasizes that there is something important about being in the low place, perhaps more important than being in peak moments. Out of our lowly moments, we can grow deeper, do work that otherwise we wouldn't do, and develop humility and perhaps a bit more empathy. Laura Adkins, a writer at the Forward, put it this way. She wrote, "On Tisha B'Av, our tradition offers us a clear path toward experiencing something transcendent. Our job is simply to feel sad and be still in our sadness. We lament the tragedies of Jewish history, the harsh realities of today, and our own limiting behaviors, like being unkind to one another, and we do that simultaneously." The way out is up. And the way up is accepting that we can't right the wrongs of the past, but we can begin to undo the wrongs of the present and work to prevent wrongs in the future. Adkins pointed out that one of the simplest wrongs of today is simply being unkind to one another. Working on that can take us a long way, because other wrongs are bigger and harder. Baseless hatred, gun violence, homophobia, anti-Semitism, prejudice against Black and brown people, against everyone who looks different or sounds different. There are so many things that are wrong in our world. To face these things, we just need just one: hope. Like sorrow, hope is an emotion. Unlike sorrow, it can lift us up, take us to places we never imagined, allow us to achieve great things. I'm just one person. I'm neither famous nor powerful, but that does not let me off the hook. There is a beautiful passage in Pirkei Avot, the sayings of the sages, which says, Rabbi Tarfon taught, it is not your responsibility to finish the work of perfecting the world, but you are not free to desist from it either. It is the very act of engaging in the work that matters. Each of us can do our part, knowing that others will come after us and take up the work with glad hands. On January 6th of this year, when insurrectionists attacked the Capitol building in Washington, D.C., Representative Andy Kim was in the building. He was wearing a brand new blue suit that he had just bought off the rack at a J. Crew store. He bought it for President Biden's inauguration, but he was so excited at the news that 2 Democrats from Georgia had just been declared the winners in the state's Senate races that he wore it in celebration. But like so many others, he unexpectedly found himself hiding with a staff member while a violent mob attacked the building. When it was over, he emerged from his office to see the destruction in the building's famous rotunda. Quote, there was trash and debris everywhere, broken furniture and broken flags, coats and gloves, cigarette butts and car keys, Trump flags and random bits of food. There was some body armor, Kim said in an interview. Quote, this was probably the worst condition that room has ever been in. It broke my heart. I almost started crying. So instead, rather than go home to his family, he found a trash bag, knelt down on the floor, cleaning up the mess until the early hours of the morning. He wore the suit just one more time on January 13th when he went to the House floor to vote for Trump's second impeachment. Quote, the suit still had dust on the knees from January 6th. I wore it so I would have no doubt about the truth of what happened, he said. When he got home on the 13th, he almost threw the suit away, but instead put it in the back of his closet. He took it out almost exactly 6 months later on July 6th, when the Smithsonian National Museum of American History asked if he would donate it to them. I had tears in my eyes when I listened to him on the radio that day. He said simply, when something is broken, you fix it. He is looking forward to the day when he can take his sons, who are now 3 and 5 years old, to the museum to see the suit behind glass, a piece of our nation's history. Sorrow is real, and it can hold us down, keep us still when we should act. By spending one day away from the rest of the world, purposely experiencing sorrow, we can then sink down and allow it to wash over us and through us. And tomorrow, the next day, we must rise up, renewed, hopeful, resilient, and ready to do the work that awaits. May we be so blessed. Olam Chesed Yibaneh from Psalm 89. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, Yadadai, Yadadai, Yadadai. 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 I will build this world from love. Yada-da, yada, yada-da-da. And you must build this world from love. Yada-da, yada, yada-da-da. And when we build this world from love, yada-da, yada, yada-da-da, then God will build this world from love. Yada-da, yada, yada-da, yada. Our closing hymn, hymn number 349, we gather together.
Thank Rabbi Singer for those inspiring words. And let's hope that we can build this world from love. It's certainly an important message for this time. The closing words are taken from a Jewish prayer. Grant us the ability to find joy and strength, not in the strident call to arms, but in the stretching out of arms to grasp our fellows, in the striving for justice and truth. Thank you, and peace be with you. Good night.